are you all today? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're talking all about the old money aesthetic and how to achieve it. Now, a good starting point to understand the old money aesthetic is to start from logomania, which is the extreme opposite of the old money aesthetic. You've probably seen this term old money go around a lot on Instagram Reels, on YouTube Shorts, on YouTube in general, on Pinterest especially. It's just become such a buzzword these days. Both logomania and quiet luxury are words that have been around for years and years, but of late we've started seeing and hearing more about it. And personally, I think the reason behind this is this TV show called Succession. But I first want to start with the logomania epidemic. To be honest, it's very hard to miss logos these days. From the iconic GG for Gucci and the Louis Vuitton monogram, logos seem to be present almost everywhere, and everybody has a logo up their sleeves these days. And this trend is what is known as logomania. Now, logomania first became popular in the 1980s, and a lot of big fashion brands like Gucci, like Louis Vuitton, like Chanel, they wanted to display their logos prominently. So what did they do? They displayed their logos on all of their products. Now, this was mostly embraced by customers who really wanted to show their affluence and show their status. But this happened in 1980s. What is happening in the fashion world right now, and why are we talking about old money and new money and logomania and all of this? Of late, logomania has been getting a lot of flack, and simply because it just looks like you're paying a lot of money to brands just to walk around like their billboard. Wearing designer labels can be seen as a status symbol, showing that this person has enough wealth to be able to purchase this thing. But what happens when this is done in a very loud manner? Just like with anything else, anything in excess can give off the symbol that you're trying way too hard. And what does that come off as? It comes off as a little wannabe-ish, a little desperate, and that is the reason it's been getting a little bit of criticism here and there. Now, what do we have on the other side? Instead of loud logos, there are some people who are embracing this thing called quiet luxury. Quiet luxury, simply put, is all about understated elegance. It's about investing in high quality pieces, and the best part about quiet luxury is that it's timeless. You don't have to worry about your clothes going out of season the next year or the year after that, because these pieces are quite literally very classic and very functional, and of course very timeless. Take the example of your mom or your grandmom's wedding outfit. Most wedding outfits are expensive because they're good quality, they're heavy, which is why they cost so much. And that is why we preserve these outfits and we keep them for years and years, right? That's just an example to show you how everybody values high quality pieces irrespective of their budget. So that piece basically becomes a classic or a timeless piece for you. Most people who have generational wealth or old money, their entire wardrobe is made of pieces that are very, very expensive. Obviously, they come at a cost because the quality is so good. So needless to say, both logomania and quiet luxury are associated with higher price points. These brands are usually associated with wealthy families and aristocracy, and the products are typically made from premium materials, and they're designed to last for many, many, many years. A few examples are Hermes, Cartier, Dior, Tiffany, Ralph Lauren, Chanel, and more. But this does not mean that all items are always expensive. Of course, the term old money refers to generational wealth. So they've inherited this sort of wealth from their parents, their grandparents, and it's basically like a legacy. But if we're on a budget, can we still look old money? Yes. While we may not be following the old money concept, we can still replicate the aesthetic. Just to give you an Indian example, think of chicken curry. Now, there are two types of chicken curry. One's the hand embroidered one, and then you have the machine embroidery. Now, the hand embroidery is more expensive because it takes time, it takes craftsmanship. Every piece is unique. It's got a few flaws to it as well, which are honestly not even flaws. They're just because it's made out of hand, it's a natural thing. It's just the rawness of it all. On the other hand, you've got machine embroidery, which is cheaper. Each piece will be exactly identical to the other. Now, because this is cheaper, a lot of people end up going for this rather than the hand embroidery or the original one, because this comes at a cost. But this is what the old money people would buy because they have the money to buy it. It's not a concern. However, if we talk about the aesthetic, then both of them have a similar aesthetic, right? A few places in India where you can find such stuff on a budget are, for example, Uniqlo, Nicobar, Fab India. Quiet luxury as a concept also really values ethical practices, sustainable fashion. The principles of these brands very well align with the principles of quiet luxury. If we keep the principles aside for a second and only focus on the aesthetic part, Zara and Mango do have some very good alternatives that are economically. Now, old money families have inherited wealth, and they place a lot of importance on craftsmanship, on timelessness, and on quality. They don't care a lot for flashy logos or loud trends, and usually these people prefer quiet luxury items. For example, the royal family. I honestly love them. You will never see them wearing huge flashy logos, tacky logos, t-shirts with heavy branding on them. It's just not what they do. If you want to imagine, think of huge mansions with sprawling gardens, think of country clubs, think of antique furniture, traditional sports like horse riding, golf and polo, vacationing on yachts, private social clubs, prestigious universities. All of this should give you the gist of what the old money crowd really values. Now, new money, on the other hand, they may be more likely to embrace logomania or trendy fashion. This is just a way to signal their newfound wealth or their status. Now, this may be through entrepreneurship, this may be through entertainment, whatever the means may be, the new money crowd is more interested in showing their success and their affluence through trendy logos and designs. Now, one thing you should definitely keep in mind is these are just terms. Nobody who is old money or new money will go around saying, oh, hey, I'm old money, or hey, I'm new money. It just does not work that way. The whole concept of wanting to look old money is not the act of being a wannabe or trying to fit into a league where you're not. It is rather to help you style that way if you are somebody who leans towards that aesthetic in a world where we have like so many aesthetics. Which, by the way, if you're confused about what your aesthetic is or what you lean towards, I have a playlist on my channel. It's all about types of aesthetic and how to know yours to be able to build your perfect wardrobe. I'll leave a link right here. Make sure you go and watch the other videos in that playlist as well. A good way to know if this is really your aesthetic is to have an impression of somebody in your mind. For example, I look at Kate Middleton, I get inspired by what she wears, and that's how I know that this is something that I am inclined towards. I personally do not idolize somebody who I would classify as new money or who would wear loud flashy logos or bright colors. I just feel like I'm more muted, more subtle as a person, and so I am more inclined towards the old money aesthetic. Now here's the thing, I personally feel it's never about the clothes you wear but about how you wear them. Money cannot buy class, and similarly there's a difference between fashion and style. What really matters is what you have and how you style it and carry it like a pro. Now in my video about fashion trends that need to die in 2023, I spoke a lot about logomania. You can watch it, I'll leave a link right here. But I also spoke about how Mark Zuckerberg, for example, wears this grey t-shirt, and on the face of it, it seems like a very plain Jane grey t-shirt. But if you dive deep, you'll get to know how expensive that t-shirt really is. Most brands divide their target audience into two parts. One is the audience that prefers quiet luxury. In fact, they even go to the store and ask the store people to remove all branding, all logos, and customize the shirt for them. For example, Mark Zuckerberg. On the other hand, we've got people who want logos, who want to show off, and if there's no logo, they feel like, why are we even paying that price? You know what I mean? So there's two kinds of audience that a brand will typically have, and I personally feel like logomania is just not my thing, so we're not even going to touch that. No aesthetic like logomania exists in my head. That is not something I talk about on this channel. We are embracing quiet luxury here. So how do we achieve quiet luxury on a budget? Step number one is to choose classic styles. Look for clothing with classic silhouettes like tailored blazers, a simple dress, or high-waisted trousers. These styles have stood the test of time and they are a staple of old money fashion. Stick to neutral colors. Colors like black, white, brown, grey, beige, navy, in fact even a few pastel colors. These are colors that are versatile. You can mix and match these with a lot of different pieces in your wardrobe, so it creates that sort of versatility. And the idea is not to stand out. Old money people do not feel the need to prove their worth, so they will never try to be all blingy and stand out, which is why they stay away from really loud, really bright colors that are in the face. So something like a bright red or a bright pink. Once in a while, sure, it works. Maybe in accessories, you can wear that as a scarf. Scarves we'll come to in just some time because they are a staple. But maybe as a part of your accessories, your earrings or your handbag, yes, you can carry that. Why not? But in general, more of muted, more kind of toned down colors that are not drawing too much attention. That's not a principle that old money people would ideally follow. They don't need to prove their worth or their presence to anybody. People in general will look at them, will notice them just because of their personality and how they are. Invest in high quality natural fabrics. Most old money people value comfort. They have a busy day, they are meeting people, they don't want to be itching and scratching their arms and their legs. They value comfort a lot and they have the money to, so why not? So whenever you can, wherever you can, prefer high quality materials. Natural fabrics are obviously way more comfortable than synthetic fabrics. So if you can afford to spend a little bit more, invest in high quality materials, say cotton, silk, wool, cashmere. Another thing to keep in mind, irrespective of the budget, is to look at the stitching. No matter the budget, no matter how inexpensive the product may be, the stitching has to be strong. If the stitching is not strong, that product is really poor quality. Accessorize with classic pieces. Accessories like a pearl necklace, a classic silk scarf, or a leather belt. These are timeless, classic foundational pieces that can really elevate your outfit. A scarf, for example, is something that you definitely must have, and you can get these for really cheap prices. There are so many ways to wear a scarf, especially with a pearl necklace, with a hairband, something that's nice and dainty. It will look so pretty. Avoid loud and trendy bags. Now, this is something that gets overlooked so many times. Such a huge market for handbags, and this topic can be a whole different video. But honestly, the reason you won't find too many old money people carrying huge bags or handbags or whatever is because they don't have to put in their sneakers, they don't take the metro, they don't have to walk long distances. They just have to keep their wallet or their clutch and their sunglasses and their lipstick and they're good to go. But of course, in our everyday life, most of us cannot live like that. we have to walk distances, we have to go grocery shopping, so we need a big bag, right? The idea is not to completely dish away something that is very practical and functional for you, but just keep in mind you don't want anything that will go out of style very soon. Not only does the old money crowd inherit generational wealth, they also inherit assets, and handbags are, to me personally, an asset. Any luxury purchase is an asset, is an investment. So when they buy such things, they think, oh, we're buying it in the long run, we will pass it on to our kids and our kids will pass it on to their kids. So you don't want something that's pink with sequins on it unless it's something that's really classic or something that you really want. As a classic foundational piece, that is not something that's typically considered old money. And when we talk about aesthetics, I'm not trying to tell you, oh, don't buy this at all. I'm saying in your wardrobe, have pieces that you will actually wear, because if you have stuff that you will buy, if it's half the price, you will keep it and never wear it. It just does not make sense to buy it. Another thing that the old money crowd will never ever do is to buy a fake or a counterfeit product. Fake bags, fake jewelry, fake bracelets, first copy, they're all illegal. They are not okay to buy. Fakes violate intellectual property laws, which mean buying this is honestly like a criminal offense. Plus, they support an underground economy that usually involves child labor, unfair labor practices, and many of these fakes are produced in unhygienic, illegal factories where people are not even paid a decent wage, which is basically why these fake products are so affordable. Of course, these counterfeit or fake bags are going to be very poor quality, they will fall apart or will wear out very quickly, which means in the long run, they are definitely not something worth investing in. And for the main part, they will damage your reputation. I don't understand what kind of validation does somebody get from buying a fake designer bag that they would not get otherwise. It will reflect very, very poorly on your character. It will make you look like a dishonest person. So just stay away from this whole market. No old money person will want to associate themselves with this at all. Plus, if you feel like you're going to fit into that circle, if you have a designer bag, let me tell you, most people in that circle will immediately see that bag and tell you it's a fake. So there's no point. That will look even more desperate. So ye cheez karo hi mat. If you can't afford something at the moment, instead of buying a fake, just buy something non-branded. Or you can buy something from a second-hand store. Just remember, owning designer pieces, whether these may be bags, clothes, whatever it may be, it's not a necessity. And of course, something that all old money people do is to be kind. You don't want to be rude to anybody. You don't want to come off as snobbish. Don't go around saying my aesthetic is old money. It just does not look nice. I think when you're pleasant as a person, it says a lot more about you. If you'd like a whole video on ways to style a scarf in the easiest ways possible, I would love to do that for you. Make sure you leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and leave your comments down below. Let me know if this is your aesthetic, if you lean towards it, which tips did you like, or if you have some more tips, leave them down. We can all benefit from this. For more such videos, make sure you're subscribing to the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Till then, bye-bye.